In 4 short years under my leadership, I did more for Michigan auto workers and manufacturers than any president in the history of our country. And just as I promised, I withdrew from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which would have totally destroyed your auto industry. I ended the disaster known as NAFTA. That was the worst trade deal ever made. That was the worst trade deal considered by him. That was so unfair to us with Mexico and Canada, the worst trade deal ever made, and replaced it with what they call the best trade deal ever made, the USMCA, Mexico and Canada. And I know it's good because Mexico and Canada are right now, as we speak, working like hell to try and renegotiate the deal. Don't do it, Biden. Well, he doesn't know what's going on. Don't do it. He's watching us now. He'll say, what's that trade deal they're talking about? Well, sir, they've been negotiating with us for about 2 years. I never heard of that negotiation. Where is Mexico anyway? Where is it? See, now the fake news will take the statement I just say, where is Mexico? And they'll put it on television. Trump didn't know where Mexico is. Oh, they do. They do. It's very dangerous. The biggest threat I have to my administration is sarcasm, because they play it against me. When I show that he can't walk off, he can never find the entrances off a stage. Look, one here, one there, 2 here. He could jump off the front, I guess. And whenever I imitate him, I called my wife. She's great. Our wife, she's great. Our great First Lady. I said, she's great. And she looked great the other night. She made that entrance. She made a lot of entrances. She's just something. But she walked in, but I told her the other night, I said, how good was I? How good? This was at a rally a couple of weeks ago. How good was I? Well, you were really good, but not great. Why? Well, it showed that you didn't know how to get off the stage. Well, I was imitating Biden. So what they do is they show the imitation of Biden. They said Trump didn't know how to get off the stage. That's our fake news. So we have to be very careful. So I haven't done it in about 3 weeks. I'll do it again, but maybe not right now. It's too... Darling, you were great. I mean, I get these crowds, 50, 60, 70,000. In New Jersey, we're leading New Jersey by 4 points, by the way. We're leading Michigan by 6 points. Right. And a report just came out. Actually, we're leading everywhere and nationally, and we have to keep it that way. Got to make sure they don't cheat. Got to make sure they don't cheat. I took on China like no administration in history, bringing hundreds of billions of dollars pouring into our treasury when no other president had gotten 10 cents. You know, China never gave us 10 cents. I got hundreds of billions of dollars from China. And I got along very well with President Xi. He's a great guy. He wrote me a beautiful note the other day when he heard about what happened. And he wrote me a beautiful, most of the leaders do. You know, a lot of them didn't like what I was doing to them, but they also knew it was about time. The jig was up, right? It was about time. But they wrote me, almost all of them wrote me notes. It was nice. No, I have a good relationship with all of them. That's a good thing. You know, a lot of times the press would say, he gets along with Kim Jong-un, North Korea. He has a lot of nuclear weapons. I got along with him great. You were never in danger with me as your president. It's a good thing to get along, not a bad thing. I used to tell him, why don't you do something else? All he wants to do is buy nuclear weapons and make them. I said, just relax, chill. You got enough. You got so much nuclear weapons, so much. I said, just relax. Go to let's go to a baseball game. I'll show you what a baseball. We'll go watch the Yankees, or we'll come watch Michigan at its home opener. Okay, how about that? Are you going to have a good team this year, I think, right? Pretty good. I heard good. I heard good, but who the hell knows, right? Guy drops a pass, that's the end of that season. It's a risky business. I proudly imposed a 27.5 tariff on all Chinese auto imports to keep China and Chinese cars, keep them out of America. You don't sell a lot of Chinese cars in here because of what, and if you did, it'd be fewer cars that you made. We're going to bring back the auto industry because of, we're going to bring it back. We're going to have them. If they want to come in and sell us cars, they can, but they have to build plants here, and they have to hire our workers, and that's fine, and nobody can say anything about it. Under the radical Democrat policies, the U.S. auto industry is being decimated. You know, we lost 64% of our industry over the years, 64%. We were a giant, and now they're made, a lot of them made in Mexico. Mexico's taken 35% of the auto industry. And we did something very strong. We did something very strong with Mexico. But, you know, when I was building the wall, I said, you have to give us 28,000 soldiers. And they laughed at me. I hate when people laugh at me. I hate it. I hate it. No, it's so disrespectful. They laughed at me. We won't do that. Why would we do that? I said, because you have to. We're building the wall. People are flowing in through your country. We want 28,000 soldiers to protect us while we're building the wall. They said, no, no, no. And then they said, after I said, look, here's the story. If you don't do it, we're going to charge you a 25% tariff on every car that you send into America. And then it's going to 50% next month. Then it's going to 75%. And then it's going to 100%, and then I'll stop. And the gentleman representing the president's a great guy. He's no longer president, but he's a great guy. He was a great guy, still is. But he said, I'd like to discuss this with the president. I said, 5 minutes, I got to go. I have something much more important to do. And he came back. He said, Mr. President, we would love to give you soldiers to protect your wall, free of charge, of course. That's how I got those great numbers on that beautiful, beautiful graph that we talk about. They gave us everything I wanted. I got everything from Mexico. And then this stupid person, low IQ, he's a low IQ individual. Take his IQ. I guarantee you it's in the low 50s or 60s. And he's negotiating against Putin, President Xi of China, Macron of France, very smart guy. I told him he was going to do something very bad to our country. I said, that's okay, you can do it, but I'm going to put a 100% tariff on all wines and champagnes that come in from France. He said, no, 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 Donald, you cannot do that. I said, I'm doing it. Donald, you cannot do that. That's not fair. He's going to charge our companies, American companies, 25% for doing nothing, for being in France. Big deal, right? Big deal. So I said, okay, that's all right. I'm charging you 100% tariff. I gave it to all my people, Mnuchin, all smart guys. They came back, sir, they won't do it. They won't budge. I said, they'll budge. I called them up. And I talked to the president of France, Emmanuel Macron. He's a nice guy. I said, but he's, you know, he likes France. I like the USA. Does that make sense? I said, Emmanuel, it's so nice to talk to you. I understand you're going to charge our companies 25%, Emmanuel. Yes, 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 Donald. It was approved by whoever the hell approves the parliament. Whatever the hell they have over there, they were going to approve it. It's been fully approved. Yes, I'm so sorry. I said, well, that's okay. You can have it approved, but here's the story. Starting tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, every bottle of wine and every bottle of champagne that's shipped into the United States is going to have a 100% tariff on it. No, 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 you cannot do that. That is not fair. I said, not fair for you to charge our companies 25%. He said, you cannot do it. I said, I'm signing the papers now. I will call you right back. Calls me back. Donald, we would be delighted, Mr. President, to take that tax off. We have decided to take it off. It'll be off by tonight, sir. It'll be off by tonight. And it was off. And it was off. You think Joe Biden does that? He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Their policies are no good. Remember, whether it's Biden or anybody else, they want open borders. They want all the same stuff. So it's like, you know, but he's in particular, he's pretty bad, I tell you. Can you imagine these killers, these are sharp. You know, the press gets angry. They said, is President Xi of China, is he a smart man? I said, no, he's a brilliant man. He controls 1.4 billion people with an iron fist. He makes guys like Biden look like babies. They don't even know whether they're coming or going. Yes, he's the next day headline. Trump calls him brilliant. How dare? No, okay. Let's say he's not a smart man. Okay, whatever makes you happy. No matter what you do. no matter what you do. I say, he's a brilliant man. They went crazy because I called him brilliant. So I'm just going to have to say, he's okay. He's okay. No, he's very smart. But, and you know what else? He's a fierce person. Do you understand that? Some of the people here know that, what this means, especially some of the women, right? They know better than the men about fierce. I know the women. They know better than the men. They're more fierce than the men. Oh, her. But no, he's a fierce individual. He's a fierce man. Can you imagine when he meets this guy? He thinks Trump is playing a joke on him. He actually thinks there's some kind of that I'm playing a joke. He doesn't believe what happened. He doesn't believe the last election. He thinks I'm playing a joke on him. But can you imagine President Xi, Putin, all of them? They're all smart, tough. They love their country, or they want to do well with their country, whatever it is, all ideology. But we have to have somebody that can protect us. And Orban was right. We have to have somebody that can protect us. Right now, we have really low IQ people in there. And the president in particular, he has about a 70 IQ, and he's going against 210, and it never works out. It never works out. When I'm back in the White House, the way they will sell their product in America is to build it in America. They have to build it in America, and they have to use you people to build it. Thank you very much. It's very simple. We will build American, buy American. We're going to hire American. We're going to get it going. We're going to get the auto industry back. It's ridiculous. I will revoke China's most favored nations trade. You know, they have a most favored nations trade status. They've had it for years. We had it revoked, and then we had that stupid election, that ridiculous election that everybody knows was ridiculous. But I will revoke it. They have a trade. They're saying we're just beginning. They're not just beginning. They're teaching our people too much. I will pass the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act, meaning if China charges us a 100 or 200% tariff or tax, we will charge them a 200% tax. Very simple. It's called reciprocal. They charge, we charge. It sort of says, I shouldn't say this, because, you know, Franklin Graham, I told the story the other night, Franklin Graham, he's such a wonderful guy. Billy Graham was his father, the greatest. My father used to take me to Yankee Stadium to watch Billy Graham. The place was packed, and he would get up and he would rant and rave, and you left there and you believed that it was God, in fact, that helped me last week. You would believe it if you listened to Billy Graham. And Franklin Graham is right, probably, but he wrote me a beautiful letter. He says, President Trump, I watch your speeches and your rallies all the time. I love your storytelling. There's nobody that can do it like you, but please, you're hurting yourself very badly. Don't use foul language. It made me feel bad, actually, because I don't use much. And if it is foul, it's not really foul. You know, there's really foul, and then there's a little off. Like some people they don't like the word hell. That's a bad word. You know, I mean, that's not good. Or the word bullshit they don't like, so I won't use it. No, it's true, but it's more descriptive. There's just no word to sort of. But he said, so please, so I've been really good, and for the last 4 or 5 times I've really been good, but you know, you lose a little something. But reciprocal trade, it basically means you screw us and we'll screw you. It's very simple. And I can't describe it. And I don't think it's foul, but he's probably right. To further protect Michigan auto workers, I will end the Biden-Harris electric vehicle mandate on day 1. It's going to end on day 1. And I will immediately terminate the Green New scam, and we're going to use that money to build roads and highways and bridges. Under Biden and the radical left Democrats, inflation is wiping out our middle class. Groceries are up 57%. Gasoline is up 69%. Mortgage rates have quadrupled. They've gone up 3, 4, 5 times. And they never include that in their stats, you know. They never include those things. They never include mortgage rates. And you can't get the money anyway, so what really is the number? And since Democrats took over, total household costs have increased by an average of $28,000 per family. Think of that. Under my leadership, we will throw out Bidenomics and we will replace it very simply with Maganomics. Maganomics. You know, I have to just interject. If you would turn off those cameras, because I don't want this. See the screen up there of me? That's very severe, that comb over. That's a severe sucker. What's with that one? It looks okay from the other side. But that is very severe. I apologize. Man, I looked up there. I said, whoa. Look at that. Wow. That's like a work of art. Only look at that one. Don't look. That one looks. To bring down the prices of all goods, we will end the Biden-Harris war on American energy, and we will drill, baby, drill. We're going to start that day one. Under the Trump administration, we had energy independence, and soon we will have energy dominant. We will be more dominant than any country by far, and we were. Just 4 years ago, we started off at number 4, we got to number 3, and then we had to beat Russia. We beat them. Then we had to beat Saudi Arabia. We beat them, and we were like a rocket ship, and then we had this idiotic result. But we will be, and again, we have more. You know, Anwar in Alaska, it's probably the biggest find anywhere in the world. The size of Saudi Arabia, some people say, who knows what it is, but it's massive. Ronald Reagan tried to get it, couldn't get it, and that was easier in those days environmentally. They stop it with the environment. You know, the environment is very important to me, and environmental is very important, but, you know, you can't use it to destroy a country. And they stopped it. They stopped it for years based on the environment. I got it approved. It was totally done. This is since Ronald Reagan, who worked so hard to get Anwar, he wanted to be able to drill in Alaska. Think of it as the size of Saudi Arabia, approximately, bigger than Texas, bigger than everything. We would have had something that nobody else even comes close to. And on the first week in office, his Department of the Interior person, who was just put in Department of Interior, she outlawed it. She said, we're not going to use it, stopped all work. They were ready to start drilling. It took them a while to get ready. They're ready to start drilling. The money would have been incredible. The prices were very high. We're the only country that stops drilling when the prices are at an all-time high. And we stopped drilling, but we'll get that back, and I'll get it back very fast. But Anwar, they cut it. Unbelievable. And I will cut taxes even further than we did before, and that includes no tax on tips, right? No tax on tips. All that government does is harass everybody over it anyway. It's like a big harassment operation. They hired 88,000 IRS people to go harass everybody. So if you work in a restaurant, if you drive a cab, or if you do anything having to do with tips, I hope you're going to remember, you know, bartenders, let's see, hospitality workers, a caddy, a barber. Barbers get tips. I don't give mine a big tip because I don't think they do a very good job. If you're a mover, a driver, or anyone else who relies on tips, the money is going to be 100% yours. You better go vote. If that doesn't get you out, If that doesn't get you off your ass to go out and vote for Trump, nothing will. Got to do it. Right? Got to do it. And as we rescue our economy, I will also restore the sacred and sovereign borders of a place called the United States of America, right? United States of America. With Democrats in charge, the greatest invasion in history is taking place right now. This is an invasion of our country. You know, you remember during the time I was trying to get the wall and I was getting all sorts of assurances, and you couldn't get it from Congress. It was incredible. So I did get a lot of money for the military. So I put an extra $10 billion. I put a little fund, an extra $10 billion. I then called it an invasion of our country, and I took it out of the military and I got it built. And now we're going to build it larger. We have to close up the areas that weren't built. We have certain areas where we needed to have them open for a little while for getting all of our stuff back. I don't like leaving brand new bulldozers and everything on the other side of the border, right? We want to close it up. But we had certain areas we had to close up. And when they took over, they said, we're not going to close it. I said, these guys actually do. I thought they were kidding. I thought they were not being serious. Who would want an open border? Who would want an open border where people come in from prisons and jails and mental institutions? Either people that don't love our country, stupid people. They're not stupid because anybody that can cheat that well in an election's not stupid. Or maybe a new thing is emerging where they want to get people to vote illegally, and they don't care. They have no shame. And we're watching that. Our chairman is here. The Republican chairman is here, the whole thing. See? The big boss is here in Michigan, so you're going to remember that. But we're working on that, but they do. They're trying to sign people up who just came in, who have no idea where they are, what they're doing. They came in. And in many cases, they're very rough people, but they came in. They're trying to sign them up to vote. This is what they'll do. Because think of it. If they have open borders, if they have men playing in women's sports, if they have a raise in, they're going to raise your taxes by four times. 4 times. Think of it. What you're paying now, you're going to pay 4 times more. With policy like this, nobody can get elected. The only way you can get elected is to cheat. And they are really good at it. That's the only thing they're good at. That's the only thing they focus on. They have no good policies. They don't do anything well. But they're using these people, and they're trying to sign up the people. And we've caught them, and we sue, and we do all the things that you have to do. But they have no shame whatsoever. So that's really one of the big reasons I think they're allowing it, because they're not stupid enough to allow prisoners and people from mental institutions, people from insane asylums, and it drives them crazy. Hannibal Lecter, the late, great Hannibal Lecter, would like to have you for dinner. He wants you for dinner. That's the end of you, by the way. But no, these people are being dumped into our country, and nothing good is going to happen from it. That's why we have to do a big deportation and get them the hell out, okay? We have no chance. Meanwhile, our crime rate is going up while crime statistics all over the world are plunging. We have become a dumping ground for the world, which is laughing at us. They can't believe how stupid we are, how stupid we are. We're destroying our country. They can't believe what they're getting away with, but they're getting away with it at levels that they never thought possible. In Venezuela, crime is down 72%. You know, Caracas, Venezuela, was a very, very dangerous place. And now, because of the great job they've done in removing their criminals into the United States, next year we're going to have our Michigan rally in Caracas, Venezuela, because it's nice and safe. Okay? Does that sound like a good idea to you? Because we want safety. Now, the press is going to write that. They're going to say, Donald Trump proposed next year's Michigan rally in Caracas, Venezuela. They'll say, isn't that horrible? Isn't that unpatriotic? You understand. This is what I have to go with. I'm only kidding, press. I'm only kidding. Although maybe it's not a bad idea. So El Salvador is an interesting one because I know the president. He's a young guy, and he's been getting this great press that his crime rate's way down, and they're training their criminals. Well, you don't train criminals, okay? Maybe every once in a while you get lucky, but you don't. So in El Salvador, murders are down 70%. He's saying, yes, we're teaching. He's different. Most of them just say, well, the United States is stupid, so we're dumping all our criminals there. He does it differently, smart. He goes, we're working with our people that are causing problems and crime. And he's not working with them. He's dumping them in the United States. And their crime rate, their murder rate is down 72%, 73%, and going up. And I don't blame him, because if I was running one of those countries, and we're not just talking in South America, but if I were running one of those countries, I would have been doing it much more. They're also emptying their jails. The big thing is their jails. Those jails were packed. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, isn't this wonderful? They're doing such a wonderful job. They're dumping their criminals into the United States of America, and we're not going to take it anymore. Stupid people. You're not going to teach a criminal not to be a criminal. Not going to happen. And you don't have the time, you don't have the energy, because you have to do other things. That is why, as soon as I take the oath of office, we will begin the largest deportation operation in the history of our country, even larger than that of President Dwight D. Eisenhower many years ago. He was a big deportation person. Under the radical left Democrats, Michigan communities are being overrun with migrant crime. You know that better than anybody, right? Does everybody agree? It's being unbelievable. In Oakland County, criminal squads of illegal alien gang members are hiding in the trees and breaking into Michigan homes after dark, looting them for jewelry, purses. They're taking the women's purses right out of their bedrooms. Electronics, cash, they're stealing, they're robbing the houses. Earlier this year in Kent County, does anybody live in Kent County here? Sounds good to me, but you're not going to like this. A sadistic illegal alien, of which there are many criminals, was sentenced for executing a 22-year-old Grand Rapids woman while she was in her car with her 1-year-old baby, shooting her at least 5 times with a rifle at point-blank range, while the killer was wanted on an outstanding warrant for attempted strangulation of another woman. When I return to the White House, we will stop the plunder, rape, slaughter, and destruction of our American suburbs, cities, and towns. We will shut down deadly sanctuary cities. We're not going to have them anymore. And we will shift massive portions of federal law enforcement to immigration enforcement. We're going to get the bad ones out. We're going to get them out immediately. It's not going to take long. We're going to rely on law enforcement, and we're going to give law enforcement back their dignity, respect, and power so they're allowed to protect you. It's no wonder Joe Biden and his thugs are so desperate to stop us. They know that we are the only ones who can stop them. We're the only ones. You know, we talk about Biden like he's a feeble old guy, and he is. He is. But it's the people that surround him. I mean, he's perfect for them. This is the fascists and communists and some bad people surround him. I know just about all of them. I can tell you about all of them. Did you hear about our big victory in Florida last week? Did you hear? We won the big case. We're going to take down Trump. We're going to take down Trump. No, when you have a great court system, when you have honorable judges, people that really love the country, good things can happen. But we won that case in its entirety. That was the one. That's going to take them down. They've been saying that for, 8 years now, right? And here we are leading in every poll. We got to get it close. You got it close. You got it close. We don't want to talk too much. I always say, if we win, because I don't like saying when we win, because they cheat like hell. So, if we win. But we got to get it close. We're close. 4 months. But you know what 4 months is in this racket? Like an eternity. 4 months is like an eternity. But we're leading by a lot, not just by a little. We're leading every state, every important swing state by a lot. And we're leading nationally by a lot. But we got to get it close. The radical left Democrats rigged the presidential election in 2020, and we're not going to allow them to rig the presidential election in 2024. We're not going to allow it. Every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists indict me, I consider it a great badge of honor. You know, I've been indicted more than the legendary Alphonse Capone, Scarface. He was a tough man. See that guy right there? Ultra MAGA. You're Ultra MAGA. He's tough as hell. But if Alphonse didn't like you, you would be in the foundation of a building rising someplace in your great state, right? He was not. He was a tough cookie, this guy. I got indicted more than Alphonse Capone. Think of it. My parents are looking down. I had wonderful parents. They never saw this for me. They never saw, let's see, I'm voting for, oh, I don't want to even read that one. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. But I'm being indicted for you. Don't worry about these fake indictments. These aren't indictments. These are Biden indictments. These are a sick, weak, pathetic man who can't run an election. So he indicts his opponent thinking that's going to win. And in many cases it would. You know, third world countries do this a lot. Banana republics do it a lot. We've never done it. And we're going to teach them why they can never do it again. Because it's actually hard to believe. It's actually driven our poll numbers way up. And then we had the debate. Did anybody watch the debate? Poll. Who won the debate? Biden or Trump? Poll, free poll. I just saved $300,000. Isn't it something these pollsters, they come, oh, I have Tony Fabrizio and McLaughlin back there. I got to be careful. But I just saved $300,000 doing that poll. They interview like 97 people have been interviewed. And Trump is leading by a little smidgen. I got 25,000 people here or something. They got so many people outside. I wish we could include them. I'd love to get them in. Would anybody like to leave now and let the other people come? That's not nice. Never forget, our enemies want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. And in the end, they're not after me, they're after you. I just happen to be standing in their way, and I always will. Right? I always will, fellas. So we have some exciting news today, because we're pleased to be joined by many outstanding Michigan patriots. They are, I know every one of them, including your next U.S. Senator from Michigan, Mike Rogers. And Mike is just as adamant as me. He'll vote to stop the invasion, end inflation, halt the outsourcing of Michigan jobs, and bring back the auto industry. You are going to double or triple your auto industry within the next 3 years under Trump. Mark it down. Mark it down. Because we're not taking their cars. We want them to build the cars here, using you people to build them. Also with us is another good man who is running for Michigan's Senate seat, Sandy Pensler. Do you know Sandy? So I have a big announcement to make then. Sandy has just announced that he would like to do something very important tonight. So you have Mike, who's a total pro, Sandy, who's a total pro. I'd like to ask both of them to come on up, and I'd like to have Sandy make a statement first. Thank you. Come on up, fellas.